Guys, the World Cup group stage is over.
And today we are going to be predicting the round of 32.
I'm Vinny.
I'm Gianni.
And you're watching Tiki-Taka.
Tiki-Talk.
Wow, what a crazy group stage that was, first of all.
A lot of the games that happened in this group stage, we did not predict correctly.
No, we did not.
Such as the first one, the immediate one that comes to mind is Cabo Verde.
Yeah, we did not give them any credit whatsoever in this group stage.
And I think we owe them an apology, especially to a lot of these smaller nations that have performed really well against top nations from South America, from Europe, even from Africa. Mm-hmm. It's just incredible to see, and this World Cup has shown us that, I think so far, African teams have done very well. 9 out of the 10 African teams made it through to the round of 32. And it's just very nice to see because the European giants aren't doing that well, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you could almost even say the same thing in a sense for the South American teams.
Absolutely, I agree.
A lot of progression after that first match day where I thought they did really poorly. Then they kind of picked it back up afterwards. But yeah, major shout out to the African teams, especially, as we said, Cape Verde, who we kind of said going into the tournament was one of those happy to be there teams.
Right.
And they're unbeaten. So, I mean, it's crazy how things work out. But yeah, Cape Verde going through at the detriment of an Uruguay team who
has won the World Cup twice before, is a nation that is scary in the World Cup just because they always have quality players. They always perform well in World Cups.
Absolutely, but this is now the second year in a row that they've been knocked out of the group stage.
Yeah, it's not nice to see. I don't like Marcelo Bielsa as a coach at all, and the Uruguayans had a very bad tournament with him. We saw a lot of drama in the locker room between the players and the coaching staff.
Yeah,
and we would expect that Marcelo Bielsa is going to be out of that position soon.
Most likely, but it's not just Uruguay that had an underwhelming tournament. I mean, I'm thinking, I had Turkey as one of my dark horses at this World Cup, and they just completely, it's unbelievable, and
they did horrible.
They did terrible.
They did horrible.
But you know what? The thing with Turkey is that this is kind of the same thing that we see a lot of the times from them in these major tournaments, Twice in a row in the Euros, they were seen as the dark horse. And twice, particularly 2021 and then 2024. And then both times, they're knocked out early. I mean, it's so disappointing.
Yeah. They then played well in their third match against the United States, but it didn't matter. There was no pressure in that game. Maybe that's why they did well.
Exactly.
Another one that comes to mind is Ecuador. They're my dark horse, right? Mm-hmm. And they played horrible those two first games. Not horrible, but they weren't able to score goals. They beat Germany, which is...
They locked in.
Now I'm just like, okay, what's going on with Ecuador? That's a very weird one. But still, underwhelming.
Yeah,
South American teams, underwhelming. European teams, underwhelming. France, for me, is the strongest by far.
I would agree with that.
Strongest by far. Argentina has an easy path to the final, so there I'm kind of giving you my idea where I think this is going to go.
Mm-hmm. And I think Argentina's looked solid also overall.
Yeah, they look clean, they look experienced, I would say.
Those are good ways to put it.
The only thing I would say is that I'd like to see maybe other players score goals because I'm not the biggest fan of one player scoring all the goals. It's Messi is Messi.
Yeah.
Hold on, Messi is Messi though. But still, a team,
it'd be nicer to see them.
Right, last World Cup we saw McAllister will score, Julian Alvarez will score, Enzo Fernandez scored on the group stage. So I'm hoping to see some of that. But now that we have an easy path, maybe we can get that.
Yeah, you never know. But you never want to write off any opponents in the World Cup.
Absolutely not. I'm scared of Cape Verde. But we'll get into that.
We will.
So let's start right away with the first fixture, Germany versus Paraguay. Immediately looking at this, it's like, okay, Germany should go through here.
Yeah, this is going to be, in my opinion, pretty one-sided. I think Paraguay, one of our third-place teams that went through, got absolutely smashed by the United States.
Yeah.
Beat Turkey, but it was one of those smash-and-grab kind of games.
I don't know. That game I saw against Turkey actually convinced me a lot because they were a man down for a whole half, and they defended very well.
That's true.
Very well. I would even say their two center back pairings have been incredible. The World Cup against the United States, that was a really strange game that I saw because Paraguay was one of those teams in the South American qualifiers that defensively they only let you get one goal max.
Yeah, I was really surprised with Paraguay because, this is a team, I believe, they beat Argentina.
Yes.
They beat Brazil.
Yes.
They beat Uruguay.
Yes.
Right? They won won a lot of these big head-to-head games, and a lot of those came, towards the end of the qualification when things are wrapped up.
Sure.
But I kind of expected a little bit more from them. I'm not really sharing your optimism, though.
No. I mean, against Germany, what do I have to say? I think Germany will take this game. Do I think it's going to be a blowout? It could be.
I'm seeing 3-0.
It could be a blowout, but I wouldn't be surprised if Paraguay does some dark magic defense.
Yeah, you never know. But I think that Turkey was such a dead team offensively. Germany doesn't have this same problem. I think their group stage was, considering the group that they had, solid. I mean, they lost against Ecuador. But, that's the last game of the group. They already finished top. I don't know if...
I mean, they did play their best team against Ecuador, though.
That's also true. But it depends on really how much they were up for it. I think Sane, scored against Ecuador, but really
that shouldn't have been a goal.
I thought there might have been a foul in there, honestly.
That could have been interpreted as a foul. But aside from that, Germany wasn't able to hold a 1-0 lead against Ecuador, who up until that point was having a horrible tournament.
They didn't score a single goal.
If Paraguay can learn anything from Ecuador is exactly that, is that Germany is not... I don't think they're that strong.
I mean, it's going to be difficult for them,
it's gonna be
especially
difficult.
going forward in the next round, which we'll get to when the time comes. But I think for this, we could say Germany is...
I'll take Germany as well. France versus Sweden.
So from a couple of games that we were talking about being like even and kind of who could win, this could go either way.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen this time. I think, first of all, we should just mention the fact Sweden are lucky to be here. Right? They finished 4th in their qualifying group. They only even made the playoffs because of their Nations League ranking. We can have a debate about, is that fair? Is that not? Whatever.
Strange. It's a strange one for sure. But Sweden have had an up and down group stage as well. They won 5-1 and they lost 5-1, which is interesting to see. But France, to me, is one of the most convincing teams out of the group stages, and I think they will beat Sweden.
Absolutely. I mean, look at the tournament that Mbappe has had, that Olise has had. Dembele's been playing well. I mean, it's been phenomenal, their front line. Against, solid opposition. We're not talking, Sweden is, Senegal is a good team. Norway, a rotated Norway, is a good team.
That was Norway's entire second team that was playing, except for one player. France did struggle against Senegal, in my opinion.
In the first half.
Even up until the 60th minute. But that was the first game of the World Cup. Maybe the heebie-jeebies were there, whatever. But France is definitely very convincing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they have an 88% chance to win this game.
That makes sense.
They're minus 371.
Yeah, no surprises there for me.
Yeah,
especially from a team from Sweden. I don't think Sweden has the defense to really, if they wanted to make like a big shout and like an upset France, you need defense.
Yeah, I see this as being I think Sweden can score.
Yeah.
They have two great strikers up top, but I see this being like a 4-1 type of ordeal.
I'll
I think
take
France.
So
France are going to blow them out of the water, I think.
France to blow them out. South Africa versus Canada. And what do you got here?
I think South Africa is another one of those teams that kind of surprised us. I didn't expect them to make it out of the group stage,
Yes.
and they proved me wrong.
Correct.
I think, though, that, with Canada being one of the host nations, they'll have a little bit more, and I just do think that they're a better team overall.
Yeah.
I don't think this will be a blowout by any means, but I do think that Canada is overall the stronger team. I do expect them to go through. For me, I could see this being like a 1-0, 2-0 kind of affair.
Right. Just looking at the group real quick, we had South Korea going through instead of South Africa, and I think South Korea just had a horrible tournament.
Absolutely.
South Africa, though, still to me doesn't convince me that much. I don't think they played that well against Mexico. Even against South Korea, I think South Korea just played worse than them. So I would agree with you. I think Canada would take this game.
Yeah, and real quick, but can we mention the fact that Asia had a really poor tournament at this World Cup?
Yeah. At first, the first fixture was great for Asia.
Yeah.
And then it all went downhill from there.
I mean, we only have 2 representatives from the AFC that went through, Japan and then Australia.
Yeah, so Japan has been very good, though.
True.
Credits to Japan, but Asia as a whole has not done that well. So I think me and you are going to take Canada here.
I think Canada's the correct choice.
Yeah. The next game we have here is Netherlands versus Morocco.
Now, this is a very exciting
This
game.
is a very even matchup, in my opinion.
I agree.
And right away, I'm going to say I can see this going to penalties.
That is not a bad shout at all. Like you said, I can see this going either way. Judging their group stages, I've been really impressed with the Netherlands, though. after kind of a
More or
slow. I mean, after a slow first game, that draw against Japan, they knocked it out of the park in their last two games.
Yeah, but I think Morocco has a style like similar to Japan almost in that sense. Tactically, they play a different formation, but Morocco is good defensively and they play on the counter. So maybe that could disrupt Netherlands a little bit. Now, this is something that I'm seeing from a lot of teams in this World Cup is that they'll play good in one game and then really poor in another game.
Yeah.
And it's like very like
It's up and down.
It's up and down. It's not consistent, and you see this through all the different federations. So it's gonna be like also what version of Netherlands are we gonna get?
Honestly, we're gonna have this conversation a lot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? What
That's why-
version of X team, what version of Y team
Right.
are we gonna be getting for this game?
Also Morocco as well is what version of Morocco are we gonna get? Because they didn't look as good as they did in 2022. They tied against Brazil, but I think they should have won. They should have beat Brazil.
And that 4-2 game, very unlike Morocco.
Yeah.
Looking at like the betting odds right now, Netherlands have a 59% chance to win as opposed to 41% for Morocco. I mean, even looking at, Netherlands are plus 135 to win, where Morocco are plus 230. So it's really difficult to call this.
I'm gonna stick with my gut that tells me that it's gonna be a tie, just because it's the round of 32. No team wants to lose in the first round. Netherlands, they're a team with history. Morocco is a team that now is being respected more. So no team is really gonna want to lose this, or maybe it's gonna push up too high to get a back and forth match. And I'm gonna go with the draw and to penalties, and Netherlands to win in pens.
I don't hate that. I might share the draw. I think Netherlands might squeak it in extra time, like a 1-0 win.
Sure. If it's not penalties for me, it's a goal in extra time.
A 1-0 win in the 112th minute by Somerville. Clip that.
Copy. All right, Netherlands through.
All right, so for this next game, we have one of the teams that we were talking about before when we said what version of a team are we going to get at this World Cup? Portugal against Croatia. Now I got to rant about this Portugal team because
You do you, my friend.
because when we look at this team, they draw the first game, okay, bad game, whatever, and an emphatic victory against Uzbekistan 5-0, and then you see the same thing as match day 1 against Colombia. And it's unbelievable. And you know how the media is going to go, right? They're going to blame Ronaldo and they're going to, put everything onto him. But let's be real about this for a second. Is there an argument that 41-year-old Ronaldo, is not good enough to start for the Portuguese national team? Yes. Should he be coming off some of these games instead of playing the full 90 minutes? Sure. Does that make up for the fact that Vitinha somehow forgets how to pass a ball? João Neves can't pass a ball. Bruno Fernandes forgets how to pass the ball. The coach doesn't know at all. He is just a mess of a coach. He doesn't know anything about, this Portugal team's strengths. I mean, it's incredible. So we can blame Ronaldo, but especially going back to that Uzbekistan game, right? We talked about he scored his 2 goals because his positioning is still good, and if you get him the ball, he can score a goal, right? I saw a stat somewhere that the Portuguese midfield has the most amount of back passes at the World Cup so far. I mean, that's crazy. And people talking about, Ronaldo, he doesn't show up to these games. He had twice as many touches as Colombia's striker in the last game. He's dropping back to get involved in the play. But we have a Portugal team here that doesn't even know what their strengths are. Why is Pedro Neto playing? That does not make any sense, right? And I'm sure for any Chelsea fans out there watching, you guys can agree with my frustration because the winger situation is horrible for this Portugal team. Why are you playing with wingers? You do not have a team with great wingers. Like, if it was up to me, I would play a 3-back with Portugal and just push up Nuno Mendes and João Cancelo as far as they go and play with 2 strikers.
And then have 1-6 as a holding? Okay.
Keep Bruno Fernandes in the 10.
Yeah.
Their midfield on paper is pretty balanced anyways, but, I mean, they've been so frustrating because this is a team, and we say this a lot with this Portugal team. They have the quality on paper, but only on paper. They're not consistent. They struggle to really build off of any of their progress. What do you think?
Well, what I see here is a Portugal team that is scared. They are scared. That's what I see. They didn't want to play. They didn't want to take risks, like you said. The fact that you mentioned that stat, that the midfield is the most that has the back passes, that tells me they're scared. They don't want to move forward. Sure. Against Congo, you need to beat Congo. Against Colombia, Colombia dominated them. That's it. Colombia dominated them.
Unlucky not to win. Very tight offside at the
Nah,
end.
I think that offside was manipulated. I think that was onside. I saw a different
It's hard
image
to
the
say.
first time to the second time. But
I thought
aside from that, Colombia dominated Portugal. So what do I see? I see Portugal that they didn't want to play Argentina in the quarterfinals like we predicted. How do you want me to put it?
Maybe that's true.
Maybe
Now
that's
they have to
true.
play Spain though in the round of 16.
Yeah, here. This is what I see from Portugal. They have good players on paper, but the chemistry's not there. It's as simple as that. Now we talked about this in our earlier predictions that Argentina versus Portugal's midfield. Which one's better? Well, Portugal's is better on paper, but what matters? What matters is when you're on the field and you have good chemistry.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm frustrated with Portugal too because I wanted to see them do well too.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be tough. Again, like we said, it depends on what version of Portugal. On their day, they can beat anybody.
Sure. Yeah.
But they have to be on their day.
Yeah, and the first game they have is against Croatia.
That's not easy.
Croatia also doesn't look as good as they have been. I think
That's
they've just
also
been on
true.
a steady decline since 2022. They have not They've not made any improvements. From 2018 to 2022, they made a lot of improvements, I'd say.
Yeah.
But then from 2022 to now, I think
It's
they've
the
gotten
same.
worse.
It's the same aging squad.
I think they've
mean,
gotten worse. That's exactly why Croatia's been a team that would rotate young players in. Now Luka Modric, I think he can still be the veteran player, but yeah, it's the same exact Croatia squad like you just said. So this game is a weird one, isn't it?
I mean, I would still say that Portugal should win this game. There's also a lot of precedent with the two of them playing in Europe, right? We've seen this matchup a lot, so I could see a tight win here. I don't see this being a blowout game. I mean, just looking at the odds, Portugal is pretty heavily favored at a 69%. So it seems like
That's a bit too much to me again. Just like where I saw in Mexico, Ecuador, I think that's too much.
I would agree. I mean, and their odds are minus 134 to Croatia's 250. So I don't see this being like a huge victory, though. I could see maybe like a 1-0 type of scoreline here.
I don't know. Portugal is going to have a tough time. Portugal's just going to have a tough time. Croatia's an experienced team. They know what they're doing. Now, they might have not had the best group stages, but I think once the knockouts come around, they know what to do.
That's
they know
true.
they know how to play the game. They know that the moments are more important than anything else. So I wouldn't be surprised if Croatia can pull a result, even through penalties.
I wouldn't be surprised. But as you kind of mentioned before, this is a Croatia team that is real. I mean, we said they were on their last legs last time.
Right.
So now they really have to be on their last legs.
Yeah.
So I think for now Portugal will be okay.
I'll take Portugal. 1-0 win, but
Yeah.
nothing more. Even on penalties, Portugal, I take them. All right, so Portugal to go through against Croatia. Next, we have Spain versus Austria. I think a very interesting game because I don't think Spain is going to have it that easy against them.
No, I don't think Spain have really not impressed all that much.
At all, my friend.
They've been struggling without their prime wingers at this tournament. Obviously, drawing their first game to Cape Verde. Without Lamine Yamal, without Nico Williams, it's going to be difficult for them. And that's maybe something that we overlooked when we made our predictions.
I said it in the original predictions. Spain doesn't have a 9.
That's true.
Spain doesn't have a 9. And to win these tournaments, you need to really have a 9. They did well in the Euros, sure. But that's when they had their two wingers playing. And playing very well. Now Spain needs to rely only on Lamine Yamal.
Because Nico Williams
is out.
He's out. He's not fit enough to start, and frankly, he's not even been good at the
Yeah,
club
he's
level.
out. He's done. Just write him off. Now you need to rely on Lamine Yamal. Can Lamine Yamal do it?
That's possible.
I think so.
You know,
if you want me to be honest, I think he can do it without a doubt. He has the quality. He has the talent to do it. Now, it's very difficult when the game actually comes. The only player I can tell you that can carry a team like that I've seen so far do that is Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Lamine Yamal needs to do the same thing, but I don't see Spain even like winning this tournament, man. I don't see Spain winning this tournament.
It's so tough. It's
they played
really
so bad against Uruguay. That
yeah,
game was
even I was
horrible.
going to bring out if not for Muslera being on fraud watch for the rest.
That was horrible.
Right, like Spain not really great. Now they didn't need a result in this game, but
my man,
really,
that Uruguay team is not good,
Yeah.
and they did not show their level against them at all. So
No.
what's going to happen against a team that is good like Austria? Argentina struggled against Austria. Let's just make that direct comparison. Argentina did not have it easy at all against Austria. They struggled. Messi did not look that good during that game. He did come up with the 2 goals, but he was very uncomfortable from their press. Now, what's going to happen if they have a good plan for Lamine Yamal? I think Austria can win.
It's absolutely possible.
Austria can win.
I don't know that I would, back
When are we going to take an upset, Vinny? When are we going to say it's going to happen? I know there's a new round of 32, right? We're not going into the round of 16, so maybe it's a little bit more saturated, maybe watered down this tournament, right? But, we got to see something in this round of 32, someone to go out, and it's just like, wow.
I mean, Spain are at an 86% chance to win this game. Their odds are minus 334. I don't see it yet because I still think there's more. We haven't seen enough of Lamine Yamal in this tournament yet. I think that even if Spain don't go on and win this tournament, which they still can, by the way, let's not completely write them out. But I think we do still see a little bit more of Lamine Yamal in this tournament, and I could see him coming up with a winner against Austria.
A winner. Like, he has to score the winner. That's the only way I see Spain winning this game.
Yeah.
Is Lamine Yamal has to score the winner, and that's it. There's no other option for me. Unless they get, a penalty or something like that. But even if they get a penalty, he's going to take it.
True. This Spain team has looked a little bit like, the Spain team of old, passing side to side, not really, creating
any danger,
chances.
Any threat.
It's going to be really fun to see a Spain-Portugal round of 16.
That would be a good game.
Based on what they've shown so far in the
Now, because we want to see that, let's put Spain to go through.
We're gonna say Spain will go through here.
Now we have our host nation against Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Yep. Now, major shout out to the U.S. First of all, they have had a fantastic. Well,
no. Say it. They have had
a fantastic group stage. Losing the last game, nobody cares. It was a
no. But look at their
garbage game.
Their expectations for this World Cup were like, yo, they're gonna go out in the group stage. Some people said, because they were not playing well up until now. They've really just came into this tournament and you're like, okay, we're gonna start being a good team now.
Absolutely, and I mean, especially after that game against Paraguay, the 4-1.
That kick-started everything. That was a spark to their campaign, and credit to Pochettino here, because what he's done with this squad is incredible. He's had a lot of backlash from the press, I'd say, and he's always been like, no, I'm going to stick with this, I'm going to stick with this, I'm going to stick with this, and that's what happened. Now you're going to see the results. Yeah,
absolutely. As for Bosnia, they've, to be fair, had a pretty good group stage as well.
Good defensively.
Good result against Canada. Okay, they lost to Switzerland, but it was a late, a lot of late goals that kind of...
That was a strange one.
It was a very strange game, and then winning against Qatar. With Bosnia, I do like to see them succeed, being neighbors of mine, but I think that, again, with them being against the host nation here, the U.S. has a lot of confidence. Even their loss against Turkey came as a last-minute sort of defeat. I think that the United States should be okay here.
Yeah. And, well, my heart is with Bosnia, right? Because when we opened those stickers, for some reason, I just got every single Bosnian player. I got the team set like 3 times. Yeah. Go check out that video if you didn't already, because we got some crazy pulls. So Bosnia has a place in my heart. Absolutely. But I think USA is going to go through. What do the odds say, by the way?
I mean, the odds have the U.S. at an 83% chance.
That sounds right to me.
I feel like that's like a little heavy.
No, they're host nations. They've done very well in that first game. They have a lot of confidence. A lot of people are now riding the wave with the United States. So those odds, I think, are fair.
And at a minus 264. Okay, yeah. I mean, I think we'll go with the United States.
United States.
I can see like a 3-1, 2-0 type of deal here.
Up here we have Belgium and Senegal.
Now this,
I'm gonna say it. Senegal's winning here.
I'm gonna agree. You were talking about we needed to pick an upset here, and I think that this might be where it happens. Belgium have looked really poor in this World Cup, barring them beating a kind of dead New Zealand team.
Doesn't count.
By the way, a team that qualify automatically for the World Cup because of the fact
because of the new format.
They're the only oceanic team. So I mean,
good for them. Happy for them, but this Belgium team does not generate any threat at all, man. Especially with Doku leaving, the only player that I would say can really be a threat for Belgium. Lukaku, he's not the player he once was. I mean, there's a lot you can talk about this team. Probably some, the golden generation of Belgium that we talked about, and they didn't perform. They didn't live up to their expectations, and now we're seeing them do even worse. They have not improved at all from the last World Cup. They've only been on a decline. And Senegal to me looked very solid.
They looked all right. I mean, for the group that they had
a very difficult group in my opinion.
Absolutely.
The first half against France, they could have put away 2 goals in that first half against France. And against Norway, they fought until the end. So
Yeah.
I like Senegal for this game for sure.
I agree. I could see this going to extra time.
No, I see Senegal winning
think
in
so?
the 90 minutes, dude.
I think that's difficult.
Senegal.
Something about the I agree. I think Senegal will win this in penalties. Something about this game just feels like a penalty type of game.
Like a 1-1 type
Yeah,
of word day? Like
honestly, or even a 0-0
okay.
up until penalties, because it feels to me like we're gonna play the whole game where people are gonna just be riding on Belgium, complaining in a negative way, complaining how bad their performance is going to be, and then Senegal to take it on penalties. It's just I'm getting that vibe for some reason.
Sure. That's okay with me. I think Senegal will do it in the 90 minutes. But yeah, Senegal to win for both of us.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, as you can see, it's a 61-39.
Oh, I would bet on this game. I would bet on this game. I'd put Senegal.
Absolutely, to make some cash here.
Yeah.
Really, these odds for what Belgium should be are too low, but with how they're playing, it has to be a Senegal win. I'm seeing that being our big upset of the round of 32.
All right, we're taking Senegal here.
Yeah.
Hey. If you're in Las Vegas for any reason whatsoever, I have something very special to share with you.
It's an AI robotics performance wellness center. Take a look at JewelFit.
JewelFit is using AI and robotics to revolutionize fitness. An immersive gamified experience. 5 compound exercises in 15 minutes twice a week. No sweat. Simply push or pull. 5 compound exercises in an automated circuit. Compete with yourself or the JewelFit community. Using force-matching technology, JewelFit works more of your muscle fibers than you could ever work in a traditional gym with an unlimited safe negative.
Here we have Brazil versus Japan, and immediately I'm like, wow, what a good game. Because I think Japan can really beat Brazil. Brazil, I think, has looked more consistent in the group stages. Japan has maybe looked a little bit shakier. 2 draws in the group stage, so I'm just like, But I think Japan can do it. The odds definitely have Brazil. They have -140 for Brazil to win this game and +400 for Japan. That to me tells me that Japan can maybe win in this game. I would put my money maybe on a draw.
Okay, and you see it going to extra time this one as well?
It could easily go into extra time. If I see like a Japan goal or a Brazil goal, the other team will definitely claw back and get the goal.
Yeah, that's fair. Who do you think would win it though?
If I had to put my money on it, I would honestly put Brazil, because I think they just have more experience in the World Cups, and they've won it 5 times. They have more quality than Japan, and Japan's 2 ties in the group stages just don't convince me that much.
I agree. I think that Brazil, they've looked the more solid team. 2 3-0 wins in that group stage for them. Maybe not against the toughest opposition.
Not really, but it gives them confidence.
Absolutely, and it's enough to push them forward. They have a guy like Ancelotti at the helm. Their players are all phenomenal. You're looking at Vinny, who's had a really solid World Cup so far. I think I could see a tight Brazil win for this game.
Yeah. So Brazil to go through versus Japan. Ivory Coast versus Norway. I like Norway better. They have an attack that is just brutal with Holland, and it's a growing team, right? It's a strange one as well for me, this Norway team, because I'm not sure if I like their coach, but he's making things work. This Norway team, they don't have that good defense. Their defense is not that good. It's honestly poor, but their strikers are very solid, and Odegaard in the middle is, he's Champions League runner-up, Premier League winner. I've always loved Odegaard playing, but yeah, I don't think Ivory Coast has the material to go against Norway.
I mean, I think Ivory Coast does have a lot of very quality
they do.
players. You know, Diallo, who scored the winner in their opening match. Pepe is still kicking ball, which is fun to see. I think Norway, though, especially with how well of a tournament Holland has been having,
Yeah.
it's going to be – it will be a tight game.
Oh, yeah.
You could argue that Ivory Coast are, as a squad, you know, of a similar par to Norway. But I think, especially in the World Cup, in the knockout stages, the difference is on the X Factor players.
Right. And I also want to mention, because the difference is on the X Factor players, Norway rotated their whole starting 11
They're
against
fresh.
France. So you can argue that they're France. Now, when I was interviewing some Norwegians, some of them didn't like that they rotated players. They wanted to put their best foot forward, even if they were to lose against France. Now that's a mentality thing, right? You want to win the last game before the knockouts come for confidence. But the fact that they have like a strict plan, I feel like that was come up with before the World Cup. Like that was like, hey, if we do this, we win these 2 games, I'm gonna sub everybody out and we're gonna be fresh for the knockouts. And I think the players know this, and players like Holland, Odegaard, that are used to playing with these tacticians that will do strange things like this. I think that they're gonna be very fresh against Ivory Coast, and they're gonna beat them.
Absolutely, and for Norway, there wasn't really a huge point in them fielding their strongest 11. France already had the goal difference on them, so they would have needed to go out and get that win. I think that I do see a Norway victory here, maybe another goal or 2 from Erling Haaland.
Sure. Norway going through on Ivory Coast. Here we have a game that is very conflicting to me. Very, very conflicting to me, because I want to see both Mexico and Ecuador do well in this World Cup. Ecuador because they're my dark horse, and Mexico because this is their host nation, and I think they're playing good footy compared to the last World Cup. They've grown a lot as a squad. They have young players, and this game is honestly just killing me. You need to tell me the odds right now, because I don't know what to say.
I mean, right now we're seeing Mexico with a 62% chance to win this
Really?
game. Yeah, Ecuador on a 38. The odds are plus 120 for Mexico and plus 290 for Ecuador. So it does seem like Mexico is going into this being the favorites, and I think for good reason. Mexico have had a really solid tournament so far. Ecuador, great game against Germany, but obviously those first 2 games, as we mentioned before, really not up to the standards.
I think they weren't up to the standards just because the ball didn't get in the back of the net. They had, like, in both of those games that they drew and lost, I don't think that they played horrible. That ball just didn't go in. They don't have a 9. I don't like Ener Valencia as a line, and that is known. But other than that, I think they can do some damage against Mexico. Excuse me.
No, I don't think so. I think that Mexico being the home team here, it's not going to be a blowout game. Ecuador are capable of making things tight, but I do see this being like a 2-1 Mexico type of deal. I think Mexico have impressed me so far at the World Cup. They've been very solid. Ecuador has been a little bit below my expectations.
I really disagree with you. I think Ecuador will go through in this game.
You think Ecuador has it?
Yeah, because Ecuador defends better than the 3 teams that Mexico played against in the group stage.
But those Mexican fans, I mean, they're going to go crazy. You don't think that the crowd will be their 12th man?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
They were screaming in the first game against South Africa. They were screaming "Ole" in the first few minutes. That's not how you be a fan. That's not right. You guys weren't winning. But no, I think Ecuador just has a solid defense. I don't like Mexico's attack that much. Like, to be like, okay, we're gonna break down the defense. When they were going back and forth, like per se, like South Korea, I think they got lucky because of the goalkeeper's mistake. That's why they scored in that game. And I think these odds are really, really, really off. Really off. I would put my money on Ecuador.
Really?
Just to I'd make some bread right away.
You'd lose that bread. But
No, I'd make some good bread, bro.
yeah, we'll see about that.
So can we see this game going to a tie? No, right? I don't see a tie here. Either team is going to win in the 90 minutes.
I wouldn't count it out, but I think we'll see. I think we'll see a winner, and I think we'll see Mexico win this.
All right, who would you bet money on?
I would go Mexico.
How much would you put?
Ooh.
I'm putting $100 on Ecuador.
All right, then I'll match you with $100 on Mexico.
You would do $100?
Yeah.
All right.
You want to shake on it?
Let's do it. All right. Mexico to go through just because they have better odds.
All right, fair enough. Now here's a game that I'm going to bet all my life savings on. England versus Congo.
You're going to bet on Congo?
Yes.
Do you think Congo's going to win?
No.
Okay.
I mean, listen, credit to DR Congo. I think they've been.
Look where they made it to, man.
That's true.
Applause for you guys, because that's incredible. The fact that you even make it into the round of 32. We just said you were happy to be here type of tournament. And that's not what happened.
Nope. I mean, they've shown a lot of strength and resilience defensively.
Yes.
And, of course, I mean, particularly against Portugal, but even against Colombia.
Yeah. Colombia struggled against them. They didn't have the easiest of times until Juanfer Quintero came into that match. But, yeah, I mean, England versus Congo, I see England going through.
I mean, England are at an 88% chance to win this game. They're minus 371 odds. I mean,
Yeah.
DR Congo's odds are plus 1,100.
I mean, if you really I don't know, because England have been looking really shaky.
True.
That first game against Croatia was great. I thought they played great, amazing footy. Then the next two games, the level fell, but tremendously, and that's something that happens a lot with England in these big tournaments. Their first game is usually very good. The second game comes and they tie.
Yeah.
That's happened a lot.
And they were lucky to even tie that game, honestly.
That is true. So, Congo, if they put in a crazy performance, can squeeze something out.
Absolutely. I just don't think it's England's time. I think
It's not the moment. It's not the moment for them to go out. I agree with that.
They're they'll make it to the semis or maybe even the final. That's usually
Final.
Well, you never know, but that's usually what they do in these tournaments, make it all the way and then lose and then choke it at the last second. So that's it's not quite their time yet to bow out. So I do see this being but I could see this being like a 2-0 England.
Yeah, nothing crazy.
Not a crazy scoreline, but comfortable.
Sure. All right, England to go through against Congo.
We have Argentina against Cabo Verde.
Ojito con Cabo Verde, eh? Difficult team. We cannot underestimate them. Not 1%. Saying that, I do think Argentina are going to win.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Argentina are at a 91% chance to win this game. Cape Verde's odds are plus 1,400. I'm low-key thinking I might just put $5 on that.
Just because?
Just because,
Cape Verde are solid defensively. Now, they made it. First of all, big applause for them. Again, big applause for you guys, because the fact that you made it into the round of 32 is just remarkable. What a good achievement that is. And they played good against Spain. Very good against Spain.
Absolutely.
And against Uruguay, another team that has won the World Cup. They played Spain, won the World Cup. Uruguay won the World Cup. I mean, Saudi Arabia, which beat Argentina in the last World Cup, they tied against them. They should have beat Saudi Arabia, by the way. They had a lot of chances. So I'm going to say right now, I think Cape Verde are a little underrated. Looking at the odds, what do the odds say?
Yeah, like I said, it's a 9% chance.
I'd give them like 11%.
Okay.
I think the odds are kind of like dissing them a bit. I'd give them 11.
You give them an extra 2%
Yeah,
chance.
I think they deserve it, dude. They did a really good campaign in this World Cup. Even if they lose 5-0 in this game, it would still be a remarkable World Cup campaign.
Absolutely, to finish second in that group with Spain and Uruguay. It's tough. For Argentina, reigning champions, they've looked one of the more solid teams at this World Cup. Consistent, structured, right? Even if as a whole in the squad, they don't always do things the spectacular way. Although even then, a lot of their play is very good. The link-up play, the 1-2s between the teams. It's going to be, for Argentina, my question will still remain, what can they do against a tougher team, or when Messi maybe doesn't have the greatest game? We did see them win 3-1 against Jordan, but all of those goals were set-piece goals.
Yeah, I mean, they had chances. They generated a lot of chances in that game. Can they do it against a tougher team? We ask that question every time with Argentina, and they end up doing it. That's the facts. Austria, I think, were a very tough team. I'm not just saying that because they faced Argentina or whatever, but Argentina struggled against them, and they pulled out a good win. Against Cape Verde, what do I see? I see, just because they have these players like Nico Paz, like Messi, and Julian Alvarez, Lautaro Martinez, it's like, what can you do? I understand why Cape Verde tied against Spain, because they were able to shut them down because they don't have the 9, they don't have the wingers. Lamine Yamal didn't come in until late into that game, so I understand that result. Yeah. Now against Argentina, I don't see that happening.
Well, it's a knockout result, so even if somehow they can pull it off again against Argentina and take it to penalties, if there's one team that you don't want to play penalties on, it would be Argentina.
Right.
Argentina, I think what we can say about them is Their structure, Scaroni is a fantastic coach. I mean, their structure is amazing. They set up in that 4-4-2. They don't play a whole lot of the ball. They rarely with these games do they play, possession football. But what they do is they're so good at conceding that possession so that they can hit. They're a fantastic transition team. And it makes sense because you have a Messi. He's not going to run anymore. So, the biggest thing is, can you get Messi unmarked so that he can do his magic?
Right.
You can't really mark him if you're too busy attacking, and then they hit on the counter, bada bing, bada boom.
The Argentinian way is very different to what we see from these top European teams, and really any nation in the world. It's this tactic that has been it's symbolized in South American football, which is, they have these overloads in the middle of the field, and they really do always play that difficult forward pass, and it always leads to another pass. So what they do, they wait for the opponent to come in. They're fine with sitting back. They don't have a problem with it. Like against Austria, they were sitting back. Against Jordan, they were sitting back. Against Algeria, they were sitting back. Teams that are inferior to Argentina, you could say. But they invited them to come in, like you said. Now, what do I see that's a little bit different to what you said? You said Messi doesn't track back to defend. I actually disagree. I think Messi looks physically better than in 2022 World Cup. I've seen him done a few defensive contributions. I was like, wow, what am I seeing from Messi?
He's
That's
done a lot
of hunger. And another thing, they do have a lot of possession, though. When they have the ball, they will hold it for a few long minutes against the team, especially if they're winning, they're up a goal. They will hold the ball for 4 or 5 minutes. I've seen it at a time, and it's just like, wow. It is very nice to see. And I think this is an Argentinian team. If I had to sum it up in one word, it's experienced.
That's a good way to put it.
It's experience. They know what their plan is. They know what they have to do. They know how to create space for Messi. They know how to play without Messi as well, because it's like, what happens if Messi gets hurt? Argentina knows how to play without Messi, because we saw it. Argentina versus Brazil in the South American qualifiers. That was without Messi. We won 4-1. We destroyed them.
Or even in the last Copa America, where Messi
got hurt in the final.
Even like the tournament as a whole wasn't really his most effective.
It wasn't the most spectacular from Messi.
But the team was able to get it done without him.
Yeah.
So that's something you can look at. So I think with Argentina, they're gonna go far.
So we're taking Cape Verde?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. We're taking Argentina.
I think I could see this being like, I'm going to say 3-0. I think Cape Verde defensively have shown enough that it's not going to be like a 5-0 type of ordeal.
I disagree. They're going to put up a bunch of goals.
You think so?
Yeah.
If the referees give them like 3 penalties again, maybe.
You want to talk about that? You want to get into that?
I don't know. What do you think?
Come on, stop lying to yourself. Argentina to go through 8-0 against Cabo Verde.
Okay.
Here we have the Aussies against Egypt. Now, just a big shout out for Egypt, because congratulations on getting your first World Cup win and making it into the knockouts in the World Cup. This is an even match, I think.
Yeah,
this
I'm not
is
gonna lie.
another one of these round of 32s that are very evenly matched.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of a boring game in my opinion. I don't really see this being a.
Nah, I disagree. Mo Salah, come on. Australia, I kind of like how they play. They there's something about them that's just enticing. But against the United States, they were able to shut them down pretty well tactically. It only came from own goals, the United States goals against Australia. So I think Egypt will have a difficult time against them.
Yeah, I mean, for sure it's going to be a difficult game. I mean, the odds are 57-43 in favor of Egypt. The betting odds.
I was actually thinking of putting Australia through against Egypt here, because this is the first time that Egypt is in the knockout phase of the World Cup. I understand that Mo Salah is playing. They have a young team, and they're very excited. They weren't that convincing. They weren't that good. They beat a few teams that are just like, okay, like you should beat them. But Australia, I've seen them. They do well in the knockouts. They got out to Argentina, the reigning champs in the last World Cup. So I think they're gonna go through this round.
So you see this being a repeat round of 16 game then?
It would be Argentina versus Australia.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
That would be pretty interesting.
But yeah, I definitely see that happening. Australia to beat Egypt without a doubt.
Yeah, Egypt. Salah's not really the player that he once was. You're kind of looking to him to be that X factor.
Now let me see. What are our odds here?
Well, the odds have Australia at a +225 and Egypt at a +150. So again, Egypt are slight favorites here.
No, I'm putting money on Australia without a doubt.
I would take Australia as well.
Yeah, I'd put money on this game easily just
Yeah.
because I'd make a lot more,
And
and I
see,
know I'd make it.
And yeah, as I said, we'd see a repeat of that 2022 round of 16 game because FIFA wants to give Argentina all the easy pass to the final.
Ooh, you want to get into that? Portugal couldn't beat Congo. We would have met with Uruguay, by the way.
That's true.
Excuse me. Spain couldn't beat them. Uruguay couldn't beat Cabo Verde. So the first round should have been Argentina versus Uruguay. Straight
That's
off the
true.
bat. Argentina is a part of the only groups that play the second place team. The other first place teams play third place teams.
That's true.
Argentina is the only one that's playing second. It's not our fault that Cabo Verde got the
Which is
results.
why Argentina
And now Portugal's on the other side of the bracket.
Which is why Argentina paid the refs paid Cape Verde to have the game of their tournament.
Now, I would be very happy if we pay the refs. That would be amazing. But we don't have the money to do that, Vinny. Be honest with me.
That's what they all say.
We don't have the money to do that. I wish we could do that. But no, come on, be serious. All the teams have. We just see these teams that aren't performing, and Argentina has performed. They got 9 points.
Absolutely.
So they're where they should be. Now, it's not my fault that these other big teams aren't on our side.
But and again, just like, okay, this is a Cape Verde team that, as we said, got a result against Spain, got a result against Uruguay. So we have, obviously we backed Argentina to win, and we have our preconceived notions about who the better team is. But they wouldn't be here if they didn't deserve it. So anything is possible.
It's also more of, right, they do deserve it because they put in the work, they did what they had to do. But also it's like, just Spain just underperformed. Underwhelming. Uruguay underperformed and underwhelming. I think it's more of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's more of that. So in this game, Australia versus Egypt.
I'll say a 2-1 for Australia here.
2-1 for Australia, yeah.
I think
that's the right scoreline, I think. And I would bet on that game, by the way. No doubt.
That might be a good shout.
Switzerland versus Algeria. Another, I think, tight game, in my opinion. Although it's not
for me.
Not for you?
I mean, I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
I think Switzerland will win in this game, but I think it'll be a tight game because Algeria, I like how they played. They're a difficult squad for Argentina.
Yeah, so Switzerland on the 66% chance to win this one.
Sure.
Plus 100 odds as opposed to Algeria's plus 300. The odds aren't bad, but I have a very big affinity for Switzerland, of course, with some of their players.
Granit Xhaka.
Yeah, I mean, who's had a solid tournament so far.
So far, he's been doing well.
But
Absolutely.
he always turns up for
in the knockouts.
Yeah,
He turns up in the knockouts.
So I mean, I'm gonna hope for a big game from him, a big game from the team as a whole. It's not gonna be a blowout game, as I said, but I do see this being like a 2-0 Switzerland type of ordeal. Although Algeria, real quick, we have to mention that crazy last game for them in the group stage.
That they had to.
That 3-3.
Yeah, I mean, Austria and Algeria, I thought were good nations against Argentina, and I really think Algeria can get a result here. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's gonna be anything's possible.
Riyad Mahrez, he takes it across from the left back all the way to him. He takes one of those beautiful touches that we all know and love to see from the Prem, and he cuts in and he shoots and he scores.
Yeah, but see, I refuse to go against against my goat Granit Xhaka.
You refuse.
I refuse.
Okay, that's fine.
So it's gonna be.
We'll take Switzerland here.
Absolutely.
Now we have Colombia versus Ghana as a last game. And immediately, I think Colombia is in my top 4 favorite teams to win this World Cup.
Whoa!
Yes, you heard that right.
Top 4.
I love how Colombia has played in these group stage games.
So if they're top 4, they would play Argentina
yes,
in the quarterfinals. So does that mean you have them beating Argentina in the quarterfinals?
No.
Okay.
Argentina would have to lose to Cape Verde first.
Okay. Anything's possible. But yeah, Colombia, I mean, I wrote them off a little bit in the tournament because I thought that their recent results were kind of trending in the negative direction.
Yeah, but the recent results also show in the Copa America tournament they made the final. They did a very good final against Argentina. Argentina only beat them 1-0 in extra time.
And by the way, we were giving Portugal a lot of shtick for tying 0-0 against Colombia. That's the same result that Argentina got in the 90 minutes in that Copa America. So it's really, this Colombia team is capable of frustrating anybody.
Oh, absolutely. This Colombia team is very solid. They have a team that how would I describe this Colombian team? They're able to manipulate their squad where they have experienced players and young players together, and they form this team that just works, right? It's it's similar to Argentina, you can say, in that aspect, where Argentina has their experienced players and their younger players, and they work very well together. They gel very well. So I think Argentina and Colombia are obviously the two best teams in South America right now, and they're the two finalists from the Copa America, and they're showing why they were the finalists, right?
Yeah.
So in this game against Ghana, I'm taking Colombia without a doubt.
I would say so. The odds have Colombia at an 80% chance to win. I think that's a little high. I would like to give Ghana a little bit more credit.
I would like to give Ghana some more credit. They've done well in the group stages.
Yeah,
Absolutely, they've done well. But against a team like Colombia, they will struggle.
Ghana plus 600 odds to win
That's
that.
a lot.
Yeah,
That's a lot.
absolutely. But with Colombia, I mean, defensively, they're a very strong team.
Right,
I
right,
still
right.
worry that offensively, they're not the best.
I don't know. I
You
don't
know,
know. They've done well.
Luis
so
Diaz
far.
has been okay at this.
Colombia's
World
that
Cup.
type of team, though. They're not like a Portugal type of team, or sorry, not Portugal, but Spain, Portugal, France, that have like the three up top that are just gonna go all out attack. They're not that type of team. Their 10 is James Rodriguez, and if it's not James Rodriguez, it's Juanfer Quintero. I think both of those 10s, they're older, experienced 10s, and they've both been playing very well in this World Cup. Juanfer Quintero coming in, getting an assist. I think he should have gotten an assist in that last game against Portugal, because to me that was not offsides, but that's beyond the point. They have that. You've seen this, right? In the first 70 minutes, James will play. They play well with him. He's recovering balls now. He's doing amazing at his old age. I didn't expect this from James, by the way. Great tournament from him so far. And then if you need to change something up, you need more attack, a player that will filter more balls, you have Juanfer Quintero, and he does exactly that. He almost won the game against Portugal. So I like Colombia a lot. I like their squad.
Absolutely, they've been one of my most pleasant surprises up
Yeah.
until this point. They do play, they play a lot like that kind of classic South American team. They have the ability to be physical, to be gritty,
Yeah,
to
yeah.
pack in, and they have the quality up top that if and when they need to use it, they can go out, they can get a winner. And obviously things would have to go this way, but we were talking about that Argentina-Colombia potential quarterfinal. That's going to be
Looking at this now, that's what it seems like it's going to be.
That's going to be a really good game.
If you want me to be honest, I would have rather played Portugal than Colombia.
I mean, honestly, based on the way that the teams have been playing
Even
in this group
before
stage.
the World Cup, I would have preferred Portugal over Colombia. That's why I was so confident in our predictions, where I had Portugal ahead of Colombia and being on that side of the bracket with Argentina. I think Argentina will beat a European team, a strong European team like that.
Well, you think so? Because I think Portugal. Yeah, I think Portugal would have probably been at the moment a better matchup, like for Argentina in terms of
Yeah. Favoring Argentina more.
right. Because
right.
as we said, Portugal. What do we know about them? They have a lot of the ball, and they struggle to create chances. Argentina, hey, we'll just sit back, we'll relax, we'll wait to hit them on the counter, and then boom, Colombia, especially since they know Argentina, they know how they play, so that could work in Argentina's favor because they're familiar with their game plan. That could also be
No, I think it goes
detrimental.
It goes more against Argentina, because Colombia, we've seen a few goals from them. It comes on a cross, right? That's a difficult ball to defend.
Absolutely.
If you're waiting back and you're in your defensive shape, right? That's really the ball that gets you. That's the one that you get scored from. So I think Colombia is a difficult team for Argentina, man. But
Absolutely.
just looking at this game, Colombia to go through against Ghana.
I would say like a 2-0. 2-0 for Colombia.
Yeah. Ghana, I don't think they can score against them. All right, guys. So we have predicted the round of 32. We're just going to run our memory back real quick. We're going to summarize what we got. We have Germany versus France, an incredible matchup. What do you see here, Vinny?
This is going to be a
gonna be good.
difficult game.
This is going to be good.
Absolutely.
Up next, we have Canada versus Netherlands. I think could be a good game as well. Portugal versus Spain.
Another huge matchup in the round of 16.
Forget about it. That would be nice to see. United States versus Senegal.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible here. And on the other side, we have up top Brazil versus Norway.
Potential chance for an upset.
Could be good. Mexico versus England.
I mean, with that host team,
Argentina versus Australia.
rematch.
It would be the round of 16 too. And Switzerland versus Colombia.
That's
an interesting one.
That's a very interesting
That could get
game.
spicy.
Absolutely. And looking at these ties, we have really a lot of great games now. We're getting into crunch time.
We're
at the
getting into
World
crunch
Cup.
time. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the left side of the bracket seems to be the heavier side. Right side seeming to be a little bit lighter for some of our big dogs. But hey, we've talked about this plenty of times before. We've mentioned how in the big competitions, the Champions League, the World Cup, the teams that have the tougher draw usually go on to go all the way and win.
I didn't want to mention it because it doesn't seem like Argentina has the toughest one, but I would have to agree with you there.
But
you got to beat the best to be the best.
Yep, absolutely. It's going to be very interesting to see the future fate of all these teams.
So, guys, these have been our predictions for the round of 32. Now, if you want to see our predictions for the round of 16, you have to subscribe and turn on the bell icon so that you get notified when we upload a video.
This has been the Tiki-Taka Tiki-Talk. To keep us alive, please like and subscribe.